A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
This Thanksgiving, Butterball wants you to really connect. Let's get back to sharing traditions together around the table. Let's talk like we used to. We'll help with the turkey so you can enjoy every moment. Visit Butterball.com for turkey tips.
Ask me, ask Iliza anything. It's time to ask. Ask me all your questions. Leave them in the Instagram comment section. Leave them on your Twitter or leave them on your Facebook. We'll see them, we'll read them, then we'll give you answers. You know it, I've got it. I've got the answer, the answer. You ask me, I'll tell you anything.
I listened to some other podcasts, mostly about lore and conspiracy theories and mythology and stuff like that. And they always start with like a thing that they bring it back to, like a topic. And I'm like, maybe we could do that for ours, but I think people enjoy the spontaneity. That being said, I listened to another podcast where the person like clearly hadn't put in any work. And I was like, if you're going to wing it, if you're going to improvise it, don't have a podcast where you're like, anyways, so yeah. Like people just love hearing themselves talk. And I'm one of them, but at least, pound for pound, it's enjoyable.
Cut your ums. I cut my ums. Then I sound smarter.
You just yelled that so loud that I got scared. Cut your ums. Baby, cut your ums. It's me, baby, cut your ums. What I love about this podcast is that, we're helping people out. People are writing in. We're fixing your quarantine problems because who knew? Even in quarantine, nurses have questions about their bosses and people still hate their friends and boyfriends are still assholes. So we're here. We're here for you to answer all of your lesbian love triangle questions about your racist parents. We're here to iron out America's issues. One 23-year-old woman at a time.
People were very excited that last week's episode paid homage to Rootin' and Tootsin'. Episode 18. A lot of people said their favorite, and this new episode was a real thrill for them.
You guys just like that I'm talking about farts.
Honestly, yeah. When I was listening to it to make sure it sounded good, I don't think I've ever laughed harder than when you were just talking about farts.
About being afflicted with painful farts.
Uh-huh. But I will say people also really love the candy episode. So I would love if you guys have kind of an all-encompassing topic you want us to talk about, like candy, please DM at Ask Iliza, and we can figure out another one like that where we can just share your opinions on divisive things like candy bars, but really just take a break from all of the problems.
Yeah, because what we're finding in this podcast is that, people have serious questions and, we try not to read anything that's too long or too confusing. And there's areas that, I'm not technically qualified to be giving advice other than I'm probably smarter than most people Anyway, at the end of last week's episode, which is episode number 94. I can't imagine we'll be doing anything to celebrate the 100th episode, but maybe. Scott put a hidden gassy Easter egg at the end when we're outroing with the song. There's a little fart noise, and I didn't know that until recently. And I really respect it, Scott. I respect your game. I respect you syncing secret messages buried in my show. So give it a listen.
Okay. You ready for questions?
I am ready.
Anonymous, hey, quarantine.
Are they ready? Okay.
One of my friends is an absolute narcissist. She only ever talks about herself, and when she does try to ask about your life, she's literally vibrating, waiting her turn to tell you how that affects her or how she's involved in something completely unrelated.
Oh, I didn't know we were friends. That's cool.
She's almost 30 and pretty desperate for a relationship. She'll have a new quote-unquote soulmate after only dating 2 weeks and gets upset when they bounce. They all leave because she's crazy. She almost immediately jumps into the, are we in love? Are you my forever person? Because I feel like you're my forever person. If I'm not your person, you should say something now because I'm all in otherwise. And then she becomes unhinged when they ask to slow things down. I've tried to have the tough talk of you have to examine your own behavior, but she will not listen. She stopped talking to me for almost a year because of it. Now I try to do the kid glove approach of they just weren't the right type of person. Yeah. I hate seeing my friend going through so much, honestly, self-imposed heartache, but I don't know how to help her at this point. I wish a guy she tries to date would tell her the truth about why they just won't work. One guy came close, but he was so kind about his phrasing. She misinterpreted his intentions and she thought they were dating another month. How do I help my friend?
Oh my God, what?
Yes.
Who thinks you're dating? He hasn't called and I haven't seen him, but I'm pretty sure we're together.
P.S. She is gorgeous. She's the friend that when you meet her, why isn't she scooped up yet? Then you get to know her in 24 hours and you see why.
Oh, Jesus. First of all, is it your best friend?
It is
No, you don't
one
know.
of my friends.
One of your okay.
Yeah.
First of all, it's not your job to save her. It just isn't, especially you're 30 now. You know, we all grow and we all attack, especially in your 20s. You know, there is that desperation and it's as you get older, but there is that like hunger in your 20s. And we're all like a little bit crazy in our 20s. I'm not a crazy person, but I've definitely like had a guy or two that I've dated where I'm like, yeah, I was a little out of my mind. I was going through something, you know, never weird, but just, you know, maybe selfish or whatever. This friend sounds like a really fun friend to talk shit about with other friends. And I've had a couple of the archetypes that you're describing in a friend. I have had the friend who is like, oh my God, are we dating your forever person? I love you so much. And then when the person's like, slow it down, she's like, I don't understand. You got to just let that be. Because one of a couple things will happen. One, she'll grow out of it. Two, she'll be like this forever and be alone. Or three, because she's hot, she'll find someone that puts up with her crazy. Or four, she'll calm down a little bit, which we all do as we get older. It just has to do with being fucking exhausted all the time. So, but regardless, the narcissist thing is annoying because, you know, it's a friendship is a two-way street and it's a symbiotic relationship and you have to decide how much of your energy you want to put into someone who's not going to change. So the pain is all on you, but it's not your job to save them. And I get it. You're like, I hope a guy will say it to her. It's her journey. And she will eventually either do some self-reflection if she's alone or she won't and she'll just be lonely or it'll be fine. But it definitely isn't your place to fix anything. And given that she stopped talking to you for a year, this person is clearly not in a place for some feedback. So don't be that person. It's also very hard to hear those things from people. Like if someone honestly said to you, like, you just know too much. And boys don't like that. You'd be like, fuck you. I'm going to keep knowing everything. So there's a lid for every pot and plenty of, and by the way, I don't know what state you're from because different parts of the country are like, oh, and she's beautiful. It's like, Michigan beautiful or like LA beautiful? There's a difference. Let's say she's beautiful. She'll be fine. There's always someone out there to put up with a crazy hot girl. Plenty of crazy hot women have husbands and then end up on Real Housewives.
Ricky Lindholm has a song that I think it's called Pretty in Buffalo. And it's about being really pretty, like being at the Buffalo Mall and being like the most attractive person.
I thought it was like a Native American ritual song.
No.
Like while wearing the buffalo. So that's it. The answer is it's not your problem and you've got your own life to deal with and try to limit the amount of time you hang out with her because it doesn't sound like it's that much fun.
No.
Chanfu has gotten a hold of
she got a little baby shrimp.
Yeah, somebody gave me like a teeny tiny shrimp and she's chewing on it. She says, I love this. I think I got that in Japan.
She loves that little baby shrimp.
She's like a toddler made of sugar. That's what she is. Minus all the shitty things about human kids. Also, she can't read or talk. I don't know that toddlers can read. Anyway, that's my answer. Your friend sounds like crazy hot girl syndrome and you gotta just kind of probably stop hanging out with her as much. Mm-hmm. I know it's fun to look at her, but like she just sounds awful.
And I'm sure she's like fun for a minute and then you realize, oh, we can't have a real conversation because she cannot.
You got to stop caring because there are some people just can't. You will find in your life there are the friends that you use for different things. The friend that I would call to complain about work to is probably not the same friend I'd call to complain about, you know, like your parents or something. Like there's different friends for different lenses. I was trying to make it rhyme. That's it.
Fall has fallen. Winter is on its way. The days are shorter. But just because, well, they feel shorter. And just because the days feel shorter doesn't mean your to-do list gets any shorter. You still have to power through your busy days. And a great way to do that is with nutritious food from Factor's no prep, no mess meals. At the end of a short day in the fall or the winter, the last thing you want to do is have to cook. Factor has got you covered from breakfast, snacks, dinner, anything in between. Factor has easy, nutritious options to keep you fueled, like their chicken Florentine with spinach and garlic chili cauliflower. You bet. That's what I want to make myself at the end of a day where I am exhausted and my husband isn't home. Whether you like routine or you enjoy mixing things up, Factor has you covered with 35 different delicious meals every week and over 60 additional convenience options you can add on, like keto cookies, pressed juices, and smoothies. And because Factor meals are chef prepared and dietitian approved, you're going to love not only Factor's meals taste, but also how they support your goals, even if your goal was just making yourself dinner. Head to factormeals.com/Iliza50 and use code Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month. That's code Iliza50 at factormeals.com/Iliza50 to get 50% off your first box plus 20% off your next month while your subscription is active. The holidays are here. And for a lot of us, the holidays mean decorating, hosting, celebrating. For me, it means a lot of traveling, and nothing feels better year-round, but especially during the cozy holidays, than a restful night's sleep in soft, luxurious sheets. Boll & Branch's signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton, and they get softer with every single wash. You already know that I got Boll & Branch this summer when I needed breathable sheets to sleep in, but this holiday season, I'm actually gifting some of my friends and family Boll & Branch's Ultimate Softness Bundle. I get to choose a signature hem sheet set in any color, a signature hem pillow set, and a waffle bed blanket. And they're all getting juniper because I think it's a classy color. This way, you know you have something nice to sleep on when you visit. It's the perfect gift for you and them. Gift you and your loved ones a better night's sleep with Boll & Branch. And right now is their best offer of the entire year. For 25% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets, head to bollandbranch.com/Iliza. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND branch.com/Iliza for 25% off. Limited time only, exclusions apply. See site for details. So finally, fall is here. I have been looking forward to it. I have had a hard year in a good way. You know, like I had a baby. I have been on a nonstop tour, nonstop traveling, and it's been hot. So I'm looking forward to, of course, pumpkin spice, everything, cooler weather, and slipping into a cozy sweater from Quince. I've talked about Quince before. Quince has beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. Dressing expensive doesn't have to be expensive. Their clothing is beautiful, it's durable, it stands the test of time, and it's what I like to call a capsule wardrobe. I got an Italian wool cocoon coat. That's one of those, you know, it's got like a European collar and it covers my butt so I can walk around New York City and not be chilly. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/Iliza for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/Iliza to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Iliza.
Okay, so we have a message from Igor from Croatia. Hello, Iliza, Baby Arm, Noah, Tianfu, and Scott. You guys really need a group name.
Okay, so let me try to do an anagram.
There's a question, but...
Tianfu, Baby Arm, Scott.
You want the
Iliza.
first initials? We only have one. If it was
Tishba.
Baby Arm, Emily, Scott, and Tianfu, we could be best, but the I and the N mess us up.
Bestie. Beast. Baby Arm, Emily, Scott, Tianfu.
We only have one. Okay, I'm going to keep reading this.
The TF makes it hard because nothing. TF is not
You
like
can just
a
do
consonant.
T. I mean, her name is Tian.
Fine. Well then, okay, fine.
Just T, just B.
Basty. I don't want to be in this with you guys.
Okay.
So there's that. Okay.
Well,
I don't want us to be a thing. Okay.
We are a thing.
Well, I like that everybody takes the time to write everyone out.
Yeah. While spending March and April in full lockdown, I managed to not just put back on all the weight I lost during 2019, but a bit extra as well. I spent the entirety of May doing regular daily walks to get back in shape, and Ask Iliza was pretty much the only podcast I listened to.
Because of the ab workout from laughing? Yeah.
Having a constant source of funny comments, honest opinions, and valuable insights helped me a lot, especially in the moments when I just want to quit and go home and pick up a pizza along the way. Still have a ways to go, but I'm back to doing long walks without my legs hurting and my mind is clear. Originally, I just wanted this to be a thank you note for providing me with hours of entertainment and feel good, but I do have a question.
Oh, wow. You really snuck it in there. You really Trojan horse that question.
What happens to the singer at the end of the intro? I can make out her calling for help, but can't figure out why. All the best.
Here's what happened. So, fun fact. First of all, Croatia was a part of our honeymoon and we didn't get that far. But we did have all the Airbnbs booked and everything and all the hotels, and the Dalmatian Coast still calls to me. So, yeah, what people don't know, Scott, who I think I'd met him once at the time, or it was brand new. He was assigned to us as music producer.
We had done a few test podcasts that did not work out.
Oh God, the first test of this was like, people listened, they were like, this is so serious.
Your initial concept was you wanted it to just be angry.
Yeah, which is what I want for everything. That's my pitch for everything. Scott put together the music, the like fun music here in the background, and I just improvised in one hot take off the top of my head that Grammy Award-winning song that you hear at the beginning. And I was singing and I was going along. And if anybody here improvises or beatboxes or anything, there always comes a point when you're riffing that like you just mess up a word. And I didn't want to get rid of the take, so I just made it like you was like, I messed. Oh, help me! Like as if she was being taken away. And then Scott kind of faded it out to make it look like the person was losing their mind. So it all just came because and I'm like, you have them. I got it. I got the answers. You got it. And then I had a brain fart. I'm like, I'd tell you anything. But I had already ruined the timing. And then it's just gibberish. Help. So it's all just gibberish.
Yeah.
Made to look like something sad happening.
Which is what everyone wants.
That's it. You can hear that I mess up a teeny bit. And then I'm like, oh, fuck. How can I abort but still keep this fire track?
Okay.
I think yelling help me is very funny. I often yell. Actually, that's my husband's impression of me yelling to you is, Emily, help me.
You do say that a lot. And sometimes you don't really need help and I come find you and you're just...
I like the company. I like the effort. I like gifts. Sorry, go ahead.
Anonymous, very serious, definitely not cliched AIA question below. Please help.
We're lesbians, but we're also co-workers. Also, I'm a nurse and my family's super Christian. How do I convince my lesbian uncle that this job isn't right for him,
I think this is a straight woman. Okay. I have a huge crush on my coworker / friend and have for about a year and don't think it's going to go away. We work together, and when I moved to a new city for this job, he quickly befriended me and I met a bunch of other new friends through him. I thought something was going to happen since he wanted to be friends so fast, but it never did. He started dating someone else and I thought I'd just get over my crush. Well, they broke up and I'm still not over it. I don't think our relationship will ever evolve into what I want.
They broke up because she was in an unexplained accident involving her car and the ignition being turned on in a garage. Who knows?
But lately I just really, really have been dying to tell him how I feel just to get it out there. But I'm worried this might ruin our friendship.
Who cares?
Also,
you don't need a friend.
Also, I'm desperately trying to find new housing. Our city is expensive and he just don't mess with those.
What are you talking about?
Oh, I thought you were picking your nails.
What do you care?
You just got them done.
No, it's not the same as what you're thinking.
Also, I'm desperately trying to find new housing. Our city is expensive, and
you're
you just bought
bossy. Do you know you got control issues?
I was going to cut that out, but now that you're talking over the continued question.
Go ahead.
Also, I'm desperately trying to find new housing. Our city is expensive, and he just bought a house and told me I could rent one of his rooms for pretty cheap. We won't be working together anymore soon, but now maybe roommates. I think it would suck to see him bringing girls over, but this room is a very good deal. It's so fucking hard to find good, cheap housing these days. Should I just not say anything, rent the room, and try to buck up and move on? Or should I tell him my feelings and potentially forgo the housing and our friendship just so I can stop carrying this secret around? I've been rolling this around in my head for months and I have no idea. So please give me some advice so I don't have to pay for therapy.
Do not live with this man.
Don't live with this man.
First of all, this feels Canadian because you're saying housing. It just does. But listen, there's always a rat hole you can go live in. Okay, there's always somewhere to live. Part of me is like, I don't feel like this guy has those feelings for you because he wants to make money off of you.
But if he's giving her a really good deal.
I know, but that's because they're friends versus like, oh, I really like this girl. Then part of me is like, but guys are so dumb. He'd be like, yeah, maybe she'll have sex with me. We can move in, whatever. Put yourself first, and you don't deserve to carry this weight around. If you're also, you just said you're not going to be working with him soon, you definitely have no reason not to tell him. Regardless, do not take that housing opportunity, because then you're the girl that stuck around even after he said he didn't have feelings, and he will always, it'll be uncomfortable for both of you if he rejects you. It'll be even worse if you decide to date and you're paying him rent, living in a separate room that you're not using now because you're just living in his house, and then you break up. It's just too sticky. It's too sticky. Your best bet, tell him how you feel. Forget work. You're going to be quitting anyway. But also, like, what if he does like you? Your best bet is tell him now how you feel, knowing that you're going to be leaving work anyway. And if he says he likes you back, great. You should still have your separate places, because there's no way you can go from, hey, I like you, haven't told you ever, let's move in together. And you don't want to be living there if he's bringing girls over. If you break up, it's just, that's too much pressure on a new relationship.
Yeah.
Or he's not into you and now it's uncomfortable and you live together. So do not do that.
Yeah. Yep.
Or do it and let us know how it turns out.
Do you think if she, no, yeah, you're right. You can't live with him.
I understand. It's really hard to put yourself out there and be vulnerable and tell someone stuff. At the very least, he'll be flattered. You'll move on from this though.
Yeah.
And by the way, what women tend to not get, and men too, but if you love someone and they don't love you back, like that was never supposed to be your person. Like it's cool that you, like, just like when you don't get into a college, you don't get the job you wanted, or like on a daily basis get rejected for things. Like that's not what the plan was. So it hurts, but you know, you'll always look back and be like, I was supposed to be with Leonardo DiCaprio in Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. Why didn't that happen? Because he wasn't actually Romeo. And he was much older than you when you saw that movie. He was in his 20s, and you were probably like 14, and it's gross.
Was he in his 20s?
I don't know how old anyone is, so.
Eliza, Emily, Hot Scotty, Noah, Tianfu, and Blanche the Merciful.
Oh,
I'm a huge fan.
Posthumous shout out.
I'm a huge fan, and your stand-up and dope panic pantry have been quarantine staples for me. I have 3 questions that are stand-up related.
My
Very
questions
short.
are threefold. Well, I don't know. I don't do stand-up anymore, so, you know.
1, at the beginning of Elder Millennial, when Blanche runs across the stage, is it Noah who picks her up?
Yes. It was my first special with him there. I had a different boyfriend when I shot Freezing Hot. I had a date with me when I shot Confirmed Kills. And that was Noah's first special with me. You didn't know me. You weren't working with me.
I was working with you for Confirmed Kills.
But you weren't there.
Who was there?
I'm not going to go into this right now. You don't know him.
But I would have.
You don't know him. All right. Your brain's doing like a weird thing. You don't know him. I mean,
I do. I bet. I'll ask you later.
You don't.
Okay.
And
how I worked here.
There's a lot of things you don't know about me.
I know
and
who comes to your house.
He never came to the house, and I pull hot dudes
because
all
he
day,
lives
every day.
somewhere far away.
Correct.
Then I know who it is, and
Whatever.
we're Facebook friends.
Oh, that's really weird. Wait, in the continental United States or no?
Yes.
Okay, that's probably him.
Okay.
You're like, I'm friends with your psycho ex-boyfriend. Anyways, that is Noah, and he was so excited to be there, and I remember his face. You can see it. I don't know, maybe it was in the edit. You see him, like, she runs to him, and it's just very sweet how he like scoops her up. He scoops her up. And we also did it in, what was the name of the last special? Unveiled.
Yes.
He was at the edge of the stage also.
I remember,
and she ran
wasn't
to
there
him.
some reason that stage was tough for her to run across?
Because she was pulling a 50-pound dress.
Right.
It was
And she had to go
pulling.
down the stairs and not just
And she had a
across.
veil.
Because she
Oh.
went across in the red dress for...
She did.
Was that Elder Millennial?
No, you know what? For Confirmed Kills. It was
For
the red
Confirmed
dress.
Kills.
Yeah.
I was
All
there
right.
for that.
This is a normal discussion to have.
People like this.
a teenage dog.
Number 2. Since your comedy is pretty physical, do you test drive the shoes you're going to wear before a special to make sure they work? I'm always impressed at what you can do in heels.
That is a great question. The answer is no. The answer is no.
You did...
But I'll tell you what it is.
Okay.
The answer is no, in that I don't bring the heels like on tour. But I believe if you're an athletic person at all, I'm not saying I'm the most athletic, but I do the act enough. The heel is never so high that I can't walk around. And we always pick, like Confirmed Kills, it was sneakers, so that was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Elder Millennial was a boot because you had to have like length for the sailor pants.
Mm-hmm.
You can even see this when you see like I'm not comparing myself to them, but like Jennifer Lopez or like Beyonce perform. More Jennifer Lopez, they're kind of like character shoes that they wear. Like it's rarely like a stiletto with like a pin heel because you are moving around. And so there's usually a shoe that's got like a thicker heel that's got some support. So the boot is like not the prettiest boot for all the millennial, but it was a beautifully made, expensive one that had to be supportive. In the dressing room of this stylist, I remember for Elder Unveiled, I do like a crab walk, and I was putting the shoes on
and the pants
in the dressing room to make sure I could physically do it.
Yeah, and for the last one at Tara Swennen's studio, you did the gazelle thing in there too, in the pants and the shoes. So to see if your legs can get
at the fitting. They have all these clothes, and you're just trying on different things. And some shoes are beautiful, but they just they're not the right height or they're not as sturdy. And so I always pick function over form when it comes to the shoes. Yeah. Because no one's really, I mean, yes, I wore dope shoes for Freezing Hot. They were these like Prada boots, but those are very thick shoes. Like if you look at the heel, they're very thick. So it's always about support.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And the third question. What tricks do you use to remember your entire stand-up routine? Love you. Can't wait to see you again live.
There's no tricks. It's just this is the craft and this is part of it, when you start a brand new set, maybe you bring some words scribbled down to remind you, but I always like to have a through line. So this isn't a trick as much as just like the methodology of my work. There's a through line. Like for my specials, it always starts like we take you on a journey. Sometimes there's a callback, sometimes there's not, but like for Unveiled, it starts with like, I'm trying to remember how it even goes. Like it goes the wedding, the things that happen at the wedding. It goes like bachelorette party, the wedding, things at the wedding, the end of the wedding, honeymoon. Like it's like linear. And so sometimes thinking in terms of like, and then this logically happens next. The stuff I'm working on now also kind of adheres to that. Like it takes you on like a journey that makes sense time-wise. So that's me. But in general, it just is repetition. Also, they're your thoughts. So they naturally attach to one another. Like it just makes sense.
Yeah. And you, when things were normal, pre-COVID, I mean, you were doing shows at clubs every night. Like you just were getting in so much practice of everything.
I listened to a set today because I was trying to like write out a set. And I listened to a set and it was at the Comedy Store, and like just hearing people laugh like that and like just get like, it was so sad.
Now it's going to be like,
I know. And just like all the little nuggets that like all the spontaneous improvisations you get to do because people are laughing and all the growth that comes from that. Yeah, is something that I am missing. Very sad.
Kick it. Okay, anonymous. My significant other wants to try some bondage. Long story short, and keeping from too much detail, I'm willing to try, but skeptical. I find some forms can come off as disrespectful, and he says that's not how he intends it. How should I go about this? I trust him and I want to try it, but I also want to feel respected.
Sincerely, Emily Higgins. I think sexual growth is very important, but not everyone's predilections are the same. Some people think being slapped on the butt is hot. Some people don't like that. Some people like certain positions. Some people, whatever. Open communication is key. And it's one thing to push your boundaries. It's another thing if you fundamentally feel uncomfortable. Like I'm not a fan of like, if some guy were to be like, you're such a dirty slut. Like, I'm like, that's not hot to me. Some girls are like, yeah, cherries. So you have to, what makes you comfortable? Do not. It's always the girl. Like, it's seldom the guy like, yeah, she wants to do butt stuff and I'm not into it, but I guess I will. It's always the girl like, he wanted to invite a raccoon into the bedroom. So I said yes. And I was like, okay, you want me to wear this children's witch costume? I guess so. If you're uncomfortable, there's a reason you're uncomfortable. And there are things that are built into you that there are reasons you're uncomfortable for things. So I've always explore. I've never done any of, sexual domination stuff, but I've always explore until it's like a hard no for you. And if he can't respect that, that is not the person you should be with.
Right.
You don't want to come out of a sexual situation feeling taken advantage of for two reasons. One, you don't want to view that person as someone that took advantage of you. And two, you don't want to have those feelings, and you don't want to resent them because he'll be like, you said it was okay. And you're like, but I had a bad time. So it's not really his fault because you said okay. And that's like sometimes where it gets blurry for people. The guy's like, you didn't say anything. And you're like, but I didn't like it. And unless you're saying, hey, I don't like this, sometimes people don't pick up on cues, whatever. So Although you should. If the girl's crying, you should probably stop. Unless she was like, I'm going to cry. I think it's so hot. All's fair as long as both people are enjoying themselves.
Yeah. So
I don't care what you do.
Be communicative with him.
Yeah. And get a collar that fits. Because choking is one thing, but you don't want to cause any damage.
Okay, somebody sent to us on the candy episode you guys mentioned.
Wait, can I say one thing?
Yeah.
I saw this random TikTok. I don't know why I can't, like on Instagram, you could, let's say something pops on my feed, I don't like it. I can write not interested or I could block them. I can see the same people on TikTok all the time and I don't follow them. And I can't say like, hey, not interested in
Let
this.
me Google.
It really is annoying because I keep seeing the same like losers that have like no followers and it's a dumb video. I'm like, why do they keep doing this?
Are you sure they're not your fans that you followed?
Yes, because I'm not clicked on there's like a for you and then there's like people you follow. But one was just randomly like about like Dom sub and it was like being a good Dom and it was something, I think it was TikTok. It was like, about caring for your partner. And he was like, you have to prepare all of her meals. And I was like, oh my God, am I in a Dom sub relationship with my husband? Because he for sure prepares all my meals. It's like a very unsexually dominant, submissive relationship.
Well, there are those people that literally like guys that will just send people money and it's called like, it has
it's called a
FinDom,
sugar daddy.
No, it's like financial where
nope,
literally
it's called
the
a
other
scam.
The other person doesn't do anything. Like not like a sugar daddy, like you got to go hang out with the person.
Right.
But no, this is literally just they're embarrassed to be sending money to you.
Oh,
for
I
nothing.
love that.
Yeah,
hook it up.
So if anyone's into that, we're available.
I will rule the FinDom space with an iron fin.
Okay, so somebody said on the candy episode, you guys mentioned Barks has bite. And I think maybe I've heard you guys mention this in another episode.
Sadly,
yes.
you have.
That's a reference to it being the only root beer that has caffeine, not just to the flavor. I don't know if I knew that.
I don't think is that right?
Okay, let me go.
I mean, I believe it, but I always thought the bite, and I do believe, unlike Pepsi, Coca-Cola, if I tried Barks versus like Mug, I could definitely tell the difference.
I could tell the difference.
It has bite because it probably has some sort of root in it or something. Some sort of spice. Like Dr. Pepper's a little spicy.
But it does
By
have
the way,
caffeine.
That's the whitest thing anyone's ever said. Dr. Pepper's a little spicy. It's a little advanced for me.
It doesn't tell me. Okay, yeah, referring to its crisp taste and the caffeine.
Yeah, but then so many sodas have caffeine. Fine, whatever.
Their old slogan was, it's good.
Some admin was just like, I mean, it's just plain and simple. Okay, I don't understand the point of your question, but Barks...
That wasn't a question. That was just informing us. Barks has bite refers to its crisp taste and the caffeine not usually found in other root beers.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just assumed everything has caffeine and sugar and gluten.
I think I assumed that it didn't have caffeine because root beer usually doesn't. So
I kind of just put sugar and caffeine on the same level. Anyways, it's tasty times.
Yeah.
Fuck you, IBC. Edit that out.
Do you want me to edit that out?
You can leave the whole thing.
I've noticed that, at least since I've had my babies, that I smell differently when I sweat. Maybe I'm just like getting older. I don't know, but I smell differently. And I don't love that. If I'm on set or if I'm on stage or if I'm doing anything like functioning in public and I don't want sweat stains or to be aware of my stinky, stinky pits, that's when I turn to Lumi Whole Body Deodorant because it keeps me smelling fresh all day. Lumi is seriously safe to use anywhere on your body. Pits, under boobs, right ladies, thigh folds, belly buttons, butt cracks, your feet. It's clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. How? Well, unlike certain traditional deodorants that may try to mask odor with a fragrance, Lumi is formulated and powered by mandelic acid to stop odor before it starts. Lumi's starter pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. As a special offer for listeners, new customers get 15% off all Lumi products with our exclusive code. If you combine the 15% off with the already discounted starter pack, that equals over 40% off the starter pack. Use code Iliza for 15% off your first purchase at LumiDeodorant.com. That's code Iliza at LumiDeodorant.com.
A hilarious new stand-up special from comedy legend Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, is coming to Hulu November 22nd. This Thanksgiving, see Jim in a whole new light as he gives you the inside scoop on everything from parenting teenagers to weight loss and gaslighting family members. For everyone in need of a happy hour, the new hilarious stand-up special, Jim Gaffigan, The Skinny, premieres November 22nd, streaming on Hulu.
Hi, Iliza, Baby Arm, Snow Peach, Hot Scotty, and Smoky Husky. Please bring back Smoky soon.
Oh, I don't know where he is.
Big fan of the podcast and all your work. Your veil bit on Unveiled made me laugh harder than anything, and I still sing your creepy "Be Mine Forever" to my fiance occasionally.
Forever. It's from the special that you never saw.
I've seen
Be
your
mine
special.
forever.
I sat there while it was edited.
Good thing you're a fan.
Speaking of fiancés, I'm set to marry my very own Hot Scotty in September. And due to COVID, have been forced to move the date of our big wedding to another time in 2021 and are instead having an intimate family wedding ceremony in 2020.
Wait, can I just say something? 2021 is going to be the most fun. Like so many weddings, so many parties.
No, everybody's not going to wear the mask and we're still going to be inside.
Okay. I'm just okay.
Don't give people if you want fun in 2021, wear your masks.
This message brought to you by Fun Controller, Emily Higgins.
We're devastated that we won't have the wedding day of our dreams this year, but know it's out of our control and are choosing instead to focus on being married instead of throwing one epic party. Nonetheless, I'm trying to get excited about the small ceremony and was wondering if you had any advice or ideas on how to celebrate and live it up with our small group of 12. I expect a dance floor with a DJ would just be a sad sight to see, and I'm not crazy about other wedding traditions like having my husband remove a Barbie doll scrunchie from my thigh in front of our parents. Please help us bring joy and fun to our wedding day.
Oh, I don't know.
Okay, so small wedding, no DJ. What are some fun touches for like 12 people? I mean, you can have sick food.
Yeah, you can have, everyone can get a
Dope
lobster.
food, nice cocktails,
I have
mixed
never seen
drinks.
this much expression in your face. Yes, okay. You can't, she's absolutely right. You can really put money toward
Really nice wedding favors.
premium. Yeah. Premium. You can put the money toward making everyone feel special that they were included in this. You can do really nice premium liquor. Everybody gets a lobster and a whole piece of gold because you have the money to spend. You're only feeding 12 people.
Everyone gets matching jewelry. Everyone gets jumpsuit with your names on it. They all change into it for the dance.
That's so cute, actually.
Then you all do a dance together.
I also love how you didn't have the article. You're like, everyone gets jumpsuit for a matching dance. I think also you could let everybody give a speech. I mean, that sounds like a lot. Like you can do the things that you wouldn't normally be able to do because there's so many people. This is off the top of my head.
The time isn't wasted on the people that you kind of had to invite because it's like Chad from work. No, like these are your nearest and dearest. They are so happy to be here with you.
And they won't be invited to the big wedding because they already got out of the way. You know what you could do? Who just did? Hunter Hill, who features for me, he brought me a jar of chili the other day, and he was like saying how at their wedding they had relatives each bring like a family recipe to make a book for them. And I thought that's where he got the chili recipe. It was like his stepdad's chili or something. And I was like, that's kind of cool if everybody, because there's always those books at the wedding where it's like, write advice for the couple. And you're like, really? I'm like online for a drink and like a chicken drumstick. I don't have the time to sit here and be like, okay, never go to bed angry. When you have 12 people, you know, you could ahead of time be like, here are the things we're asking for. Like, you know, some thought out advice, a recipe. People have the time to like actually put thought into the love that they're wanting to share with you.
It just sounds, honestly, 12 people sounds without anyone feeling bad because obviously they can't be invited. It sounds like a dream because instead of like 12 spread out tables with like okay centerpieces, you have one so good centerpiece. You all sit at a table together.
You could even like write notes to each person, like why it's important that you're there, that they're there that day for you. Like you have a real chance to connect with people. And yeah, you can probably spend a little bit more. You'll remake that money by the time you have your real wedding.
Don't get a DJ for this. Make a really fun playlist.
Email your guests and be like, what's a song that you love?
Oh, yeah.
You know, and everyone's gonna be like, oh, Brown Eyed Girl.
Yeah, you put it on. You put on the playlist. You do it. I mean, I assume you're doing it probably outdoors.
What if you were like throwing like a party for a friend? Like, how would you curate it? And so that's probably the answer, is that you can afford to go big on things that you'd have to scrimp for.
And I think you're right. Really highly curated. Like this can be so personal to you because you don't need to worry about like Uncle Joe doesn't eat this or this person needs to sit over here or this person. Like this can be so, you know, these 12 people so well.
There you go. So just get intimate with it.
That's going to be
Cash
nice.
in on that intimacy. Yeah.
And then in 2021, you have like a big whatever
it out
party
on a Carnival
so that you
cruise.
can get a lot of
Lobster pancakes.
gifts and everybody eats an old piece of chicken.
There you go.
And they
Rubbery
say,
chicken.
yeah.
Can hire a comedian to do 5 minutes stand up for $50,000 on Zoom. Just putting it out there.
Is that your rate now?
Okay.
Okay. I want to read this because I do want people to send in their suggestions for more episodes, like the candy episode. And Megan said, I absolutely love the candy episode. Can you guys do another one like it? Maybe movies for Emily's sake or snack food or drinks.
Yes.
So send those in, guys, because I think that's
Movies,
nice.
Emily's on her own. And I don't want to do that.
You don't.
TV I could do.
You could do TV.
But I think food is great because it's also subjective. It's always fun. I mean, Emily will dominate. Like Taco Bell will keep it supreme. Oh, your baby.
A lot of people, thank you, listeners of this podcast, have reached out with their well wishes and their
Sent
sadness
flowers.
about Taco Bell.
Yeah, maybe we could do
Fast
I like the
food.
food one. Yeah, you can do fast food.
Junk food. Junk food is
My
like
dad called
candy.
me a junk face.
What's that?
A junk face. I was like, yeah, I'm trying to eat healthy. He goes, yeah, but you're a junk face.
Oh.
You're a secret junk face.
I don't think of you as eating junk food. I think of you as nibbling on just like various almonds and sesame sticks. Like
Yeah, but that makes me sound like I'm a lot thinner than I am. So I'm a junk face killer.
okay. Hello, Eliza, Emily, and Chanfu. Love the podcast, all your specials. I saw you and Hunter live in Windsor last summer when we could still go places.
I remember
and
that
do
gig because we
things.
crossed over to Detroit and I bought me and Stacy, the tour manager, sick gold chains at a Detroit pawn shop.
Oh, yes. My boyfriend and I have been together
Wish I
10
hadn't spent that
months.
money. What? It's a
My-
lot of money. Boyfriend and I have been together 10 months.
I'm 24. He is 27. I moved into his apartment when all this quarantine business
Wait, hold on.
started.
Apartment 24. Okay.
It made sense at the time because we had talked about moving from Michigan to California together next year. So we thought we'd get a taste of living together first. It was great at first, kind of a fun, novel thing, cooking together, doing puzzles, watching movies. We both still worked for tech companies and work remotely, so it was really fine. Since then, nothing has gone wrong, but it just hasn't been right. There's been no spark, barely any sex. We have lived like best friends / roommates. We both miss having our own space. We finally admitted to each other last week that we don't love each other anymore and wish we could just be friends again. We were friends for years before deciding to date. We left that conversation saying we would work on things, but eventually I think I made up my mind that we both just need to be alone for a while. I signed on a 1-bedroom apartment in Denver and moved next month. I told him this and we decided mutually that it was for the best and we'd be happier as friends. My actual question, we will still have a month of living together before I actually move. Since we've been basically existing as friends with no romance or spark for months now, is it weird to expect things to somewhat stay that way? I'm also excited but terrified to be truly alone once I move. My brother is in Denver and him and his wife are having a baby soon, but otherwise I don't know anyone there. I've lived with the same person and spent 24/7 with them for 4 months. I'm afraid of being so lonely once I'm there. Any tips on starting over in a new city given this situation? Maybe Emily has tips on dealing with being alone in the time of Corona. I love all your honest advice and the podcast has really helped me with perspective and staying sane.
Okay. Maybe Emily has tips on being cripplingly lonely, living by yourself.
It's what I will say is right now you'll see people, you'll move to Denver and you'll still see people via FaceTime, which is exactly the way you were seeing people before. So
you're going to be just as lonely. I'm sorry. You're going to be
so
just as
lonely.
lonely. Are you?
yeah.
Oh, no. I always invite you.
I
You don't wanna
see
hang out with
you.
me.
I know, but I'm like, oh, on the weekends I can't go to the movies with people. I can't go get a fun lunch.
You can always come sit on the patio here.
get some vitamin D.
You do need vitamin D.
I should start taking the pills again. I stopped.
No, don't take go
My
outside
doctor
to the
told
sun.
me to take vitamin
Go
D
into the
pills,
sun.
but I
Sit outside for
stopped.
15 minutes a day. You don't need to take pills.
I don't know. My doctor thought I needed pills.
Your doctor sounds like an idiot. First of all, yeah, you can go back to being friends. It's okay. Especially since you both feel that way. And especially since you definitely feel that way versus like, yeah, I guess I don't love you, even though I do. Just grit it out. And knowing that there's a finite amount of time, things might pop up where you're like, maybe I do love him. Maybe I am. Like, you'll start to get scared. You're like, maybe I should stay. Stay confident. Stay the course. you can just go back to being friends, and I'm sure it won't be that weird. It seems like you guys are both smart and kind of even keeled, and do things to take up, your time, and start reading about your new city. And always think, my favorite thing used to be to lay in bed and think about all the cities I was going to visit in the future. And now that's been taken away from me, which is probably why I can't sleep anymore, and why I keep yawning. But in terms of Denver, look, first of all, Denver is also known as Menver because it has more hot dudes per capita / square mile than any other city. On any given day in Denver, and by the way, it is a very active city. On every weekend, men of all hot shapes and sizes are taking their chocolate lab named Sadie out to the mountains to go hiking or skiing or swimming. It's a very active city. So you are, first of all, you're in a good place because you're in good shape because there's more men than women. But second of all, you'll be able to go and do outdoor things with other people. They'll be out on trails and hiking and stuff like that. It will not, you will be, for what it's worth, just as lonely as anybody else because of the quarantining.
Yes, I think now is the best time for this. Everybody's kind of in the same boat. And I think when we can hang out more, people are just going to be more down to make friends. And so there'll be a lot of openings for you.
And it gives you a chance to, without having, I almost called it FOMO, set up your apartment, get it perfect, drive around the city, get to know the city. There won't be as much traffic, get yourself set up. Mm-hmm. You don't need to move to a new city and be like, I'm dating right now. You need to see, how do you feel about being in that city? What are the things you like doing? Mm-hmm. And get to know yourself in that city. That's what I think. And your ex-boyfriend friend sounds very nice. So you guys should be okay.
Here's how I have friends. Number one, I have a cat. And I talk to her.
That would be how you don't have friends.
Number two, I have a friend that I watch The Real Housewives with, and she doesn't have cable, and I do. And so I set up my computer with Zoom, and I illegally play The Housewives for her, and I watch it, and she watches through 2 screens.
Oh my God.
And then we talk while we watch it. And no, she can't see it very clearly, but it's a feeling of connection. So just keep maintaining relationships with the people that you know in the city you're in via Zoom, etc. FaceTime. Everybody right now is feeling disconnected. So
yeah, it's very normal. Don't be afraid to reach out to your friends, your parents, just anyone. The other day I was just alone, and I'd had a giant hard kombucha, but somebody DM'd me and I started saying, talking to this person. And then I realized I was texting back way more than they were writing. I was like, because they were a verified person in show business, but in another country. I was like, oh, I can trust them. And I'm like, what am I saying to them? I don't know this person. So, and I was just like, this is all off the record, hoping their ethics come into play. So yeah, don't let your loneliness get the best of you.
I think that my parents are going to stop taking my calls soon, but until that happens,
never.
I'll keep calling.
Maybe just the dad.
Yeah.
No, I don't know.
All right. So we had an anonymous person ask back in end of December, early January, is that he had a lot of female friends that he texted with, and she felt weird and bad, and it didn't seem that bad, but they broke up. Not because of this, but because it just fizzled out on his end. And she says, your podcasts have really helped me get through the breakup. This podcast is a bright spot in my Wednesdays. They always make me laugh. Thank you.
Yeah.
So my question is this. Okay. This breakup was particularly painful because it was the longest relationship I've ever had. They were together for 5 to 8 months, maybe.
Okay.
And I really loved him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get back into dating, but the thought of hooking up with someone else or even just FaceTime in quarantine makes dating hard is kind of scary. How do I get over these feelings of anxiety and allow myself to open up to someone else again?
You don't. It naturally will happen. Every girl goes through this thing. You're like, ugh, the idea of having sex with someone else, even the idea of dating again. When you've been dating someone for a while, I talk about this in one of my specials, how and then you're single. It's like you're back in Gen Pop. You're like, I'd gotten out of the jail and now here I am back in it again. And then one day you meet someone and it's not so painful. And I felt like that with Noah. You're going on these dates and you're like, I'm from Dallas, Texas, and I like this. Yeah, these are my things. And it's not clicking because that's not the person. And then one day it doesn't feel like a job interview. One day it's fun to talk to someone. Or even without that, one day you meet someone and you're like, oh my God, I'm attracted to that person. I do want to be naked with them. So you don't have to think about it because it'll just naturally happen. That's it. It'll just happen.
And dating in this quarantine, I'm constantly just messaging people, no, it's a pandemic.
It's a pandemic.
And that ends the conversation.
This is Emily. Can you just please read it? Can I see this, please? Give me your phone. I'm not gonna mess with your shit. That dude's hot. Emily gets like hot dudes.
It's a pandemic.
But you also said people, so he's only 7 miles away and he looks like Drake. Like, what's the problem? Hold on, wait. Can you go back? How do I go back? What program is this? Hinge? What is it?
No, this is
Best
Tinder.
Fiends? Did you meet someone on Best Fiends?
No.
The game that has continuous updates. This is a Tinder. This guy, first of all, he's not bad looking, but also,
It just
can
does
I just
a
read
line.
it?
Yeah.
Please. Hi, I lost my teddy bear. Can I sleep with you instead? And then he didn't even do an emoji. He did colon and then a P. So it looks like, and Emily just wrote back, it's a pandemic. What is that double check? Means you sent it or he liked it?
It means I sent it.
It means I sent it double hard. So here's a dude hitting on you and you're like, it's a pandemic. Do not come to my home.
But wait, I want to.
That's so funny.
The problem
Can I
is.
see your profile?
No.
Why? You know so much about me. Like, you know medical records, my social security number. I don't even know where you live, other than it sucks.
That's your fault.
No, it's not. You've never invited me over.
You wouldn't come over.
I would not come over.
You would not come over.
No, the way you describe it, there's nowhere to sit.
You can sit on my couch.
Oh, God, I thought you were saying you could sit on my lap.
No, someone has sent me that
spell
teddy
is
bear
complete.
message before.
Oh, yeah, it's such a bad...
It's just like a line.
You know what? Natural selection. If you're dumb enough to fall for it, great. Maybe you deserve ugly Drake. The answer is...
Oh, wait. He
by the
sent
way-
it on another app.
Okay, wait.
It's the same guy.
But by the way, had that guy said something like, oh, by the way, I love a strong female lead in a movie. Mariska Hargitay should have been a film. You'd be like, oh my God, my heart. And all of a sudden you might not have been like, it's a pandemic. Like if he had not opened with like, can we fuck? I lost my childhood toy.
Somebody else that I told it's a pandemic was just like, oh, okay. It's like,
yeah.
Did you not know?
Dudes are just horny. They're just like, anybody want to park? Park
They're
in here.
trying to get people to come over in a pandemic.
So gross. A
It's
friend of
not
mine
right.
went on a date recently, which is already like, okay. And they went to a bar, which is like, okay. But fair, I get it. It's hard for me because I'm married. So it's, I understand being lonely. And if you're single and you got to see people. I get it for mental health. But like the date wasn't going great and he like wasn't reading her body language and he kissed her. And she was like, I could feel
It's a
his
pandemic.
She was like, I could feel his erection through his shorts. Yes, I said shorts. And she's like, his breath was, but like, I was like, now you have to get a COVID test.
Yeah.
Because some random dude split buffalo cauliflower with you at a bar and you guys kissed.
It's not worth it.
That's to me just sounds so unappetizing. Anyway, don't force it. It'll be one day you'll click with someone, you'll be like, oh, I do want to spend time with this person.
Right. I thought this was my dream. I was like, oh, you know what? I'm the one that would love to just chat on this app and never have to go anywhere.
Yes.
And so I was like, this is the perfect time for me. I've never been so active on my profiles
that's
because
so
I'm
funny.
like, good,
Can I
I
see your
cannot
profile?
see you.
Please let me see your profile.
Wait, first I need to show you. This is the farting baby.
Oh, that ate the kashi?
Uh-huh.
That's a
Or
very
that drank
cute
the
baby.
breast milk with the kashi
Oh my
in
God,
it.
that's so funny. That's a very cute. Well,
Isn't that a
people
cute
at home can't
baby?
see it. So.
I know. I just wanted you
All
to
right.
know that that Alex said she's crying laughing and she's so glad we shared her farting baby story.
I'm gonna eat that baby's cheeks. Squeeze you.
You want to see my Tinder profile?
Yeah. Oh, people are gonna look you up now.
You can't Google me on Tinder.
Yeah, you just go on Tinder and look. Oh, you can't do that. You can't like look for someone. Oh.
I don't know how to look
That's
at
funny.
it without editing it.
Why can't I just look at it?
I'm trying to figure out how to let you look at it without
All right,
it
all
just
right.
going
This is
into
not fun.
editing. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna go into questions.
It's just like all very aggressive, like dom sub nude photos.
No.
It's just all like hypersexual, very fetish.
One of the apps like picks what photos are doing best, and I think my photo that does best is like me dressed as.
You're like, unfortunately, my head's not in it.
Me dressed as Alex from Orange Is the New Black, Laura Prepon's character from
That's
Halloween.
not a good sign.
Right. So that's the photo that does
Can I
best.
see?
And so then I tried to okay, let me pull
Why are you being so weird?
because I truly was trying to show you
Let me just
how
look.
how to look at it, and it can only
That
show
is
my
a great picture of
photos.
you, by the way.
Oh, okay. See, this is the one that does the best.
Oh my God. When was that from, though? That's a long time ago.
I know, it's old. I haven't updated this in a while. But that's a photo that does best. So when people be like, are you in a cosplay? And I'm like, no, I just.
Yeah, you are. You probably are.
No, that was Halloween.
I've seen all these pictures.
I don't have that many pictures.
All right.
This is a thrill.
You managed to get Gracie in there. What? Oh, I can't. Oh, this one.
Do you want me to
Why did you
delete
include
one?
this one? I want to see it. I want to see that one of you standing in front of. Is it the Grand Canyon?
I had to include 6.
Is that the
I
Grand
don't see
Canyon?
it.
Is that the Grand Canyon?
Yeah.
What's the caption that goes with it? Like, hey guys,
I didn't even put a caption with it.
imagine what you could do with this. Wide open. A woman should never. That is coding. That is subtext. What are you trying to say by standing in front of a gaping hole in the earth?
All right, I'll update my pictures.
This, can I just say something?
Yeah.
The rest are very cute pictures. This is a picture of Emily in a puffy down jacket and a pair of dark blue jeans and just some sneakers.
I think because it's
in sunglasses with bad lighting in front of the Grand Canyon. It's the most Liz Lemon picture. Like, I am a tribute to our nation's great natural monuments.
I think because I wanted to put a picture that wasn't a selfie, and I never have pictures taken.
The worst. This is.
Wait, I
sorry.
might have different pictures.
You
on
post.
another
You have the
app.
photo posting stylings of like a 50-year-old divorced dad.
It makes me so mad that people don't like my pictures of Gracie.
You got to get over that because nobody. I'm sorry, and you know what? People need to hear this. Your cat's fine. It's cute. It's your love. But nobody wants to see
Okay,
pictures
there
of a cat.
are other pictures on this one.
Is this Bumble?
Yeah. You scroll up and you can see the other pictures.
Can I read it?
Yeah. What does it say? Yeah.
I love movies. I love fighting with my shirt off. I love animals. I love food. I'm from the East Coast. Please don't make me go hiking. Totally fair. And then here's a picture of you dressed like Angie Harmon. Picture of a cat. Picture of you with Mandy Moore. Picture of you holding a fake Emmy. Oh, a Laugh Factory
World's
poster.
funniest person.
Okay. I do think you need
Newer photos.
newer photos just
There aren't
because
selfies.
whatever.
Maybe I'll take some selfies at home and I'll
You know what?
post
It's a
them.
very cute, like, this is exactly, like, to be fair, that profile is exactly who you are.
Here's what I will say. When it was pre-COVID times, I went on a date with this guy who was like, you look just like your photos. And I was like, good.
Thank you. Yes.
That's what I'm
You know
angling
what'd be really
for.
funny is if scrolling through, can I see that again? Scrolling through your profile, it just said like age 42. Like I had no idea.
Like, I orphaned you.
Like I just, yeah, how, that movie was so weird. 5'6". Are you that tall? I guess so.
Yeah.
It says there's the emoji, the little icon is, it's like cigarette and you wrote never. And there's a paw and it says cats. And then there's a baby bottle and just says don't want. I don't want bottle, which I think is very funny because it also looks like a fat syringe. And then there's two little
No
prayer hands
heroin.
that look like they're clapping, but I guess it's just as a religion. You said atheist. Yeah, you're not much of a. And then liberal. Yeah, it's hard in LA to be like, I'm conservative on something. Like you have to put liberal.
Honestly, when I see the people on the app that are like conservative,
Voter. Who
and
doesn't
their
put
info
voter?
is like God above all else.
Oh, it's
I'm
always like-
oh no.
It's always like a Bible. It's like Corinthians 52, 5150.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't want to go look that up. Do you want me to? How important is this actually to like Chad? You know, whose shirt is off in his picture? Is that really like what he's into?
I dated a hot dude once who had a giant cross tattoo on his like pectoral muscle, and it was jarring, but it did not keep me from enjoying him.
Christopher Maloney has a giant like Jesus on a crucifix stapler
Yeah.
from
I mean,
SVU, and it's
it's,
jarring.
look, they're all very personal things, but you know, you make a statement. It's a commitment
Yeah.
to the Lord that people only see when your shirt's off. Kick it.
Okay. Hi, Eliza.
Hi.
Emily, and the adorable Tian Fucino Snow Peach.
Chini.
I'm growing increasingly frustrated with my fellow human beings. I work at a non-essential retail store that sells skincare and home fragrances.
That's essential.
While the company requires face masks for shoppers and I live in a city that has a mask ordinance, I find myself being put constantly at risk by customers who don't want to wear masks in the store.
What city is this? Hellsville?
Doesn't say.
Conservative Suburbiaville?
Probably.
Okay.
Prior to COVID, we had testers all over the store and encouraged customers to sample, smell, and otherwise interact with the product. So testers like little perfumes.
I know what a
things.
tester is.
I just want to thing. Now, due to COVID, testers are limited to prevent droplet transfer, but customers aren't Having it. They constantly pull their masks off their face and open non-testers to be able to smell the
Ew.
product
Yeah,
better.
But even pre-COVID, that's not okay.
When I ask them to follow the safety guidelines, customers often get hostile. I've been called racist, a Nazi, a pain in the ass, etc. How do I not lose my ever-loving mind over the ignorance and selfishness of shoppers?
First of all, your manager has to intervene.
Yeah, but I assume there are a lot of times when the manager isn't there and there's just someone spraying their droplets.
Is this like a Sephora or something?
It's not non-essential retail, skincare, home fragrances. Yeah, probably like a Bath and Body Works or
this
something.
is not on you. Like, this is so shitty that you have to enforce this. Corporate needs to figure out a way to do that. And you need to talk to, I can't believe you need to talk to your manager. But you do, because you're on the front lines making this company money and you're bearing the brunt of it. So the store, you need to talk to someone there. They need to put in systems in place for that. What's most important is that you're wearing a mask. So I appreciate that person, I mean, at least you're protecting yourself.
Well, no, your mask protects other people.
And you.
Not as much as their mask protects you.
But
Because
I'm
you're
saying-
worried about their stuff coming out of their mouth at
Right.
you.
I mean, I don't see what's coming. I mean, I get it. They're just breathing and they're touching. And your store needs to either remove all those things. First of all, I don't know who the monster is that's opening something that isn't a tester. Maybe you take things off shelves and there's just the one tester, you know. But it really seems like your store needs to step up for its employees.
Yeah.
And I would actually quit that job. I know that sounds like a luxury, like you may not be able to, but that is, you do not deserve to have that kind of abuse, especially for a non-essential job. Like, you're very lucky to have a job, but you don't need to be dealing with that.
Yeah, people are in here putting on lotions
Fuck
and
them.
screaming at you, a bunch of animals.
And then ask your manager, be like, if I told that person leave the store, like, do I have the right to do that? Everybody's so obsessed with their rights in this country, and you're like, I have the right to refuse service to you.
I wonder if you can put up a dummy camera and be like, look, we're recording you and you're going to be banned if you don't follow guidelines.
And I wouldn't even, you could even write to your district manager or corporate. Like, they need to look out for you.
There needs to be consequences to these people or they're just going to keep acting like that. Yeah. They need to be kicked out of the store.
Be like, this is our policy. You're allowed to refuse customer service. Be like, this is our policy. You're not complying.
Yeah.
At the very least, don't open other products.
Yeah, you maniac.
Or let me assist you with it.
Or
But
you opened it. You pay for it now.
breaking you back.
All right. Hey, Iliza, I need some of your straight shooting advice. My husband and I just got an offer accepted on a house in a town we've been wanting to move to for a while. It's near the place where I grew up, which is where my parents still live. I adore my parents, and they are wonderful people, but really struggle to set boundaries with them as my mom takes everything very personally. And although my dad talks a good game about respecting our time and space, he has made several comments over the past year about how he wishes we could all live together. I really struggled to cut the apron strings with them and only managed to do it properly in the last year at the age of 30. When we got our offer accepted on the house we wanted to buy, my parents immediately started sending us links to houses in the same area, which to my knowledge, they had no intention of moving to for them to possibly buy. I went from elated at the thought of moving to having an anxiety attack because I can't bear the thought of them constantly showing up at our house, pestering us to go with them for dinner. We don't have kids yet, and part of the reason for that is because I can't handle the idea of inviting both mine and my husband's parents back into our lives to just take control of everything. I know boundaries need to be put in place, but I have no idea what language I can use to let them know that I still love them, but I need space and distance. I can already see my mom saying that they have every right to move wherever they want, and I'm being a princess. My parents have always been there for me, have helped me in tough situations, and always bailed me out of trouble until I got my act together and I finally became independent. I understand that I might seem ungrateful, but I don't think having my own life at the age of 31 is too much to ask. I'm so upset. I don't know what to do. Please help.
I don't know, because I don't know.
So she just bought a house, and now her parents are
With
like,
your husband.
with her husband, and now her parents are like, look, we're going to buy a house in the same exact area as you.
You know, when you say trouble, I wonder what you're talking about. And if it was like, they're bailing you out of jail. Are we talking rehab?
I don't get that.
Well, because if it's a thing where your parents kind of had to hold your hand through life and it was through a big chunk of it, like, you know, into your 20s, there is a version where they still are nervous for you. But I don't know if that's what you meant. Let's say that everything was fine. Let's say you were just, you know, a dumb kid, just like every other kid, and everything was fine. You just might have to have that come to Jesus. You might have to, sometimes emotions come out of you that you don't realize. If you write something, like, it'll just pour out of you. Some people are not great with writing. I would try to write it all out and then look at that letter and maybe give them the letter or read it to them. And, you know, all you have to say is, and again, look, I don't have parents like this, but the idea that they would move to the neighborhood is a little weird. I mean, it's kind of the plot of Everybody Loves Raymond. But there's also a version where they can live near you and you just need to set those boundaries, but it's on you and you have to be willing to hurt their feelings. And you have to know that like the way that they feel about it isn't on you. And you do have to live your life, and maybe your husband can be with you when you say it. You know, maybe it's like, we love seeing you. You have to specify to them what they do that bothers you. Otherwise they'll just poke holes in your argument. Like, what do we do that's so bad? And when did I do that? You know, like be concrete and be specific with your examples because you're forming an argument, you're forming a case, and there's got to be a way to do it that's disarming. And if they can't hear that, then that's not on you. And then, you know what? Maybe you'll be in a fight and you won't have to see them. Right?
Yeah, fair. Yeah, I mean, all you can do is talk to them and tell, like, I get that they're going to be like, well, we can move wherever we want.
Which is weird.
But what if you come to them very honestly, like, I really want to feel independent.
And I want to have time with my husband.
Yeah.
We want to do things together. You could also just answer the phone less.
I mean, if they buy a house and start knocking on the doors.
They're not going to do it.
I don't know.
Just exclude them. Just do it. They're your parents. They're not going anywhere.
Be very honest, and then...
And that's all we can offer.
Okay, it's time for Top of the Cup.
Oh.
It's the top of the cob. We're doing it right every day. You just take a bite, top of the cob.
Just to reiterate, this is not top of the corn cob, although a really lovely fan, I think from Indiana, sewed me a little corn. Do you see this?
I love that little corn.
Because she thought it was top of the corn cob. And I was like, I don't want to break your heart. And I was like, I'm laughing, but and I told her what it was. And she was like, I had no idea. It was very cute. Top of the
We
cob.
all know the top of a corn is the best part of a corn.
Oh, we all know the silken threads, the floss-like threads at the top is what you want to eat. My top of the cob is that necessity is the mother of invention, and where there's a comedic will, there's a way, and I will be doing drive. I keep saying drive-through. I'm like, here's your number 2 and a joke about marriage. Drive-in shows. I've got one coming up in New Jersey on July 30th, and then one coming up in Cape Cod on July 31st. I took the gigs because I think it's important as a comic to have battle scars. You know, it's important to really wear out your career and to look back at it and be like, yeah, I've done, you know, small shows. I've done clubs. I've done theaters. Fingers crossed, I've done arenas. I've done comedy on TV. I've done comedy in the Iraq desert in the middle of the day. I've done it at a forward operating base on a ship. Like, I love having a decorated career, and I want to be able to look back. I want the experience because it always reinforces that you can do comedy anywhere and you always come off the stage a better comic. But I want to look back on this once we put it in our rear view and be like, yeah, during Corona, you know, and during Corona, we all went and did drive-ins. Like, that's how we adjusted at the time. This is one of the biggest battles of our generation. So I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, you can get tickets to Yarmouth and to Monmouth on Iliza.com/tour.
At Iliza.com/tour. And, you know, you bring your car, you can load it up with 5 people. It's the same ticket price. Each car is what you pay for. And I'm excited for the experience. And we're going to put together, hopefully, a Midwestern tour. We're going to get a bus and we'll just drive around. So I'm excited to get to do comedy in a different form.
But look, here's the thing. Iliza has a touring agent and they're looking at drive-thrus. I don't need the knowledge of the address of every drive-in that you've ever seen in your area.
Go to UTA. That's the name of the agency. Yeah, reach out to Joe Schwartz.
No.
Hook it up.
No.
What's your top of the cob?
My top of the cob is I finally caved in and was like, well, this is permanent. And I bought some fun masks. And they got here. I got 4 fun ones. So you'll be seeing those. I'll wear a different one next time I come over.
Just make sure to wash your face first so that your pores are open.
You want your pores closed.
Oh, I thought you meant face masks. Like hydrating face masks.
No, I mean Corona masks.
I saw one. It's a cat mouth, an open cat mouth.
Uh-huh.
Very special.
Yeah, it's a little creative
I love it.
thing that can happen in these times.
Art finds a way. My bottom of the cob is the VIP experience at my shows is a little different. Like, it used to be like I would hug my fans, I'd pose with them, and now I can't. But I beg them. I'm like, there's got to be a way. So at least for one of the shows, if you buy VIP package, I'll be able to come up to your car, take a picture, interact with you verbally.
Is that for sure confirmed?
One of them.
Okay.
And then, of course, you know, if people make gifts, we can get them and stuff like that. So I'm trying to make it as normal as possible. So,
yeah.
But my bottom of the cob is that I don't get to touch you guys.
Yeah. My bottom of the cob is I think I'm allergic to crab? Or imitation crab, but I'm not sure. And I don't know how to test that without eating some and seeing what happens, which I did twice, and both times I didn't feel well. So
Interesting.
I think maybe it's imitation crab because I can still eat shrimp, but maybe I'm allergic to shrimp.
Well,
I don't know.
You might be. If you have a shellfish allergy, you should definitely have some sort of EpiPen at the ready if you're going to try that. Imitation crab is like pollock and it's like white fish all whipped together. So you're probably not allergic to that because it's a bunch of different kind of fish.
But I'm not. But I've eaten shrimp and been fine. And when I got California rolls twice,
Where'd you get them from?
Two different.
Sounds like food poisoning.
Burbank. No, but it wasn't just. It was the whole front of my body was red and itchy.
And it was real crab?
I don't know.
I doubt it.
I feel like it wasn't.
Well, tell
because
me.
then I ate shrimp and it was fine.
Show me the place and I'll tell you if it's real crab.
It's two different places.
Tell me the place when we get offline.
Okay. You tell me what. I'm allergic to something, I think. I don't know. I never had food allergies as a kid. I don't know. I don't want to get that test with all those little. They do that test and they prick you with like 100 different needles. I can't do that.
But you also don't want to like eat something and you're like, oh, I puffed up.
Yeah.
I will tell you this: imitation crab is fucking gross, so you shouldn't be eating it anyway. And you should really only be getting sushi from a very nice place, so it's sustainable.
Really just want to keep eating shrimp, so I just don't want that taken from me.
I'll send you an article. You shouldn't be eating shrimp either.
No.
It's just most shrimp is farmed, which is terrible.
What?
And then shrimp, as delicious as they are the bottom feeders of the ocean. So they're eating the crap.
So are lobsters.
I know. I'm not saying any of this is great. Sustainable shrimp is one thing, but it's a whole thing. You got to do your own research.
I love a crab cake.
But here's the thing. I bet you're eating a crab cake with a lot of filler. So what you really love is cornmeal.
I haven't had a crab cake in like 15 years.
Let's go. I'll get you a crab cake.
Need turkey tips? Our Butterball Turkey Talk line is open. We'll help with what's on the table so you can focus on those around it. Call 1-800-BUTTERBALL or text 844-877-3456. Butterball. Today, we turkey.